Listen, if you're collecting Social Security right now, you need to stop what you're doing and pay attention because what I'm about to tell you could mean the difference between having money in your account when you need it or being left in the dark wondering where your payment went. The Social Security Administration just released critical information at midnight on December 27th, and this affects millions of Americans before we even ring in the new year. I'm talking about confirmed payment dates that are breaking the normal pattern, and if you don't know which group you fall into, you could be checking your bank account on completely the wrong day, stressing yourself out during what should be a time of peace. Your final holiday deposit is coming, but the timing is different this year, and I'm going to break down exactly what you need to know right now. Welcome to SSA Reports, where we cut through the confusion and bring you straight facts about Social Security, SSDI, SSI, and everything the government doesn't always explain clearly. I'm here every single week breaking down the latest updates, payment schedules, benefit changes, and all the information that directly impacts your money. If this is your first time here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button because we're building a community of people who refuse to be left in the dark about their benefits. Now, let me tell you something that the Social Security Administration doesn't always spell out in plain English. The way your benefits get paid isn't random. There's a specific formula based on when you were born, when you started getting benefits, and what type of benefits you're receiving. And when the calendar throws us a curveball like it's doing right now at the end of 2025, with holidays landing on certain days and weekends messing with the normal schedule, everything shifts around in ways that confuse even people who've been getting Social Security for 20 or 30 years. I've spent hours going through the official bulletins, reading the fine print, and cross referencing everything to make sure what I'm telling you is accurate. By the time you finish watching this video, you're going to understand your payment schedule better than 90% of the people calling the SSA hotline this week. So here's how this whole thing works, and I need you to really understand this because it's the foundation of everything. The Social Security Administration operates on what they call a staggered payment schedule, and this system has been in place since 1997. Before that year, everybody who got Social Security received their payment on the third day of every month. Sounds simple, right? But it created absolute chaos. You had millions and millions of transactions hitting the banking system at the exact same moment. Banks were overwhelmed, the system was jammed up, and it was a logistical disaster that nobody talks about anymore. So they changed it, and now your payment date depends on what day of the month you were born. If you were born between the 1st and the 10th, your Social Security payment lands on the second Wednesday of every month. If your birthday falls between the 11th and the 20th, you get paid on the third Wednesday. And if you were born between the 21st and the 31st, your money comes on the fourth Wednesday of the month. But here's where people get tripped up constantly. If you started receiving benefits before May 1997, or if you're getting both Social Security and SSI at the same time, you don't follow that Wednesday schedule at all. Instead, you get your payment on the third day of every month, or if the third falls on a weekend or federal holiday, you get it on the last business day before that. Now let's talk about what's actually happening right now with this final holiday deposit that everyone's asking about. December 2025 has given us some unique circumstances that are messing with when people see their money. And the midnight update from the Social Security Administration is basically them confirming the adjusted schedule so people don't panic when they check their accounts. When we hit the end of the year, especially when it lines up with holidays and weekends, the SSA has to move payments around to make sure nobody's sitting there without their benefits when they need them most. The government can't process payments on federal holidays, and banks don't post transactions on weekends in the normal way, so everything has to be calculated backwards from these restrictions. What that midnight confirmation told us is this: anyone who is supposed to get a payment that would normally fall on or after a holiday is going to see that payment deposited early. This isn't the SSA being nice or doing anyone a favor out of the goodness of their hearts. This is federal law. The government is required to make sure that if your payment date falls on a weekend or federal holiday, you must receive that payment on the last business day before that weekend or holiday. It's written into the regulations, and they don't have wiggle room on this. For those of you getting SSDI, your disability benefits follow the exact same birth date schedule I just explained. There's this myth floating around that SSDI is on a completely different system, and I see this confusion all the time in the comments. People think that because their benefit is classified as disability instead of retirement, they're going to get paid on different days. That's not true. If you're receiving SSDI and you were born between the 1st and 10th, you're still getting paid on the second Wednesday. Born between the 11th and 20th, third Wednesday. The only exception is if you're also receiving SSI, which is a totally different program with its own payment schedule. Let me be real with you for a second. I know a lot of you watching this are seniors struggling to make ends meet. The cost of everything has shot through the roof over the past few years. Groceries, utilities, prescription medications, rent, insurance. It's all gone up, and your Social Security check hasn't kept pace with any of it. When you're living on a fixed income and every single dollar has a job to do before it even hits your account, knowing exactly when that money is going to arrive isn't just about convenience. It's about survival. It's about making sure you can pay your electric bill on time so they don't shut off your power. It's about avoiding overdraft fees that eat into the little bit of money you have. It's about having enough to buy groceries for the week without having to choose between food and medicine. That's why these schedule changes during the holidays matter so much. When you're operating on a razor-thin margin, a payment showing up one day late can create a domino effect of problems. Late fees, bounce checks, overdraft charges. It adds up fast. And the stress of not knowing when your money is coming, that takes a toll too. So let me give you some practical advice right now about what you should be doing to prepare for this final holiday deposit. First, you absolutely need to know which payment group you belong to based on your birth date. If you've never paid attention to the pattern before, find your birth certificate or any official document that shows what day of the month you were born. Match that up with the schedule I laid out earlier. Once you know if you're in the second, third, or fourth Wednesday group, you can figure out exactly when your payment should arrive. The Social Security Administration has an online calendar showing all the payment dates for the entire year, and you can find it on the official SSA website. Just go to ssa.gov and look for their payment schedule or benefits calendar. Second thing, and this is crucial, make sure your bank account information is up to date with Social Security. You'd be shocked at how many people run into problems because they changed banks 6 months ago, thought they updated everything, but somehow the Social Security Administration still has the old account on file. If you've recently switched banks or opened a new account and you want your benefits going there instead, log into your My Social Security account online and verify that the correct routing number and account number are in the system. Here's something else that causes tremendous anxiety every month, especially during holidays. Your official payment date and when you actually see the money in your account can sometimes be two different things. This isn't because Social Security is playing games or because there's a problem with your payment. It's because of how the banking system works in the United States. If your official payment date is on a Wednesday, but you bank with a smaller credit union or regional bank, you might not see that deposit post until Thursday morning or sometimes even Friday. This doesn't mean your payment is late. It doesn't mean something went wrong. It just means your particular bank processes deposits on a slightly different schedule than the big national banks do. The major banks have invested heavily in technology that lets them post Social Security deposits very quickly, often right at midnight on the official payment date or even slightly before. But smaller institutions might batch process their deposits once a day, maybe early morning, maybe midday, so you're going to see your money appear at a different time. This is completely normal and happens every single month, but during the holidays when people are extra stressed about money, it feels more significant. If something does go wrong and your payment doesn't arrive when you expect it, you need to give it at least 3 business days before you start worrying. I'm not saying this to dismiss legitimate concerns. The Social Security Administration's official policy is that you should wait 3 business days past your expected payment date before contacting them about a missing payment. The reason is exactly what I just explained about banking processing times. What looks like a missing payment on Wednesday might just be your bank being slower to post the transaction, and by Friday, everything's fine. If 3 business days pass and you still don't have your money, that's when you contact Social Security directly, and that's when they'll actually investigate what happened. For all you seniors out there who are barely scraping by, I want you to know that your benefits are protected by federal law. The midnight update we're talking about, the adjusted schedules for holidays, these are the system working exactly as designed to make sure you get your money when you need it. Social Security has been making these payments reliably for decades. The system has flaws. The customer service wait times are ridiculous, and yes, there are political debates about long term funding, but the actual mechanics of getting payments out every month, that part works. As we close out 2025 and move into 2026, I want you to take a deep breath, check your payment schedule, make sure your banking information is current, and trust that your final holiday deposit is on its way. If you found this information helpful, smash that like button, share this video with anyone you know who's on Social Security or SSDI, and subscribe to SSA reports so you never miss an update. Drop a comment below and let me know what questions you have about your benefits. I read every single comment, and your questions help me make better videos for this community. Stay informed, stay prepared, and I'll see you in the next one.